Embracing the worst-case scenario, a new way to think. The world often teaches us to think positively, but today we explore the art of thinking the worst-case scenarios. It's not about being pessimistic, but rather strategic and prepared. We often avoid contemplating the worst possibilities due to fear. But the very act of considering worst-case scenarios allows us to dismantle these fears, enabling us to face any uncertainty with a calm mind. Worst-case scenarios is when you think of the worst thing that could happen to a plan or a goal. This way, you are better able to adapt to any eventuality. Case in point, in high school when studying for exams, I imagined what could possibly be the worst thing that could happen in the exam. A lot of negative scenarios came to mind: freezing, forgetting, not being able to review this part, misunderstanding the instruction, running out of time, so on and so forth. The worst-case scenarios. Instead of ignoring these possible calamities, I prepared for them. For instance, what will I do if I freeze? I decided prayer could calm my mind down. If I run out of time, then speed is the best antidote. I would answer the easiest questions, then go back to the hardest ones cause they take more time. I would review the lessons thoroughly to ensure that I have all the areas covered. Foreseeing the worst-case scenario equips us with a game plan. This proactive approach lets us tackle any eventuality head-on, ensuring we are never caught off guard, regardless of the circumstances. As a result of preparing for the worst thing that could happen, I was ready. When difficulties arise, I could easily adapt to the issue because my mind was prepared to tackle the worst. I became so adept at worst-case scenarios that I ended up acing most exams. Consider the worst-case scenario as a safety net. Just as circus acrobats practice with a net beneath them, we too can take calculated risks, with our worst-case scenarios acting as our safety net. Being positive is a good trait. But thinking of the worst could also have its redeeming qualities, as long as it pushes you to positive action instead of paralyzing you to inaction. Thinking the worst-case scenarios doesn't mean dwelling on negativity. It means preparing for adversity, understanding potential obstacles, and having the courage to tackle them head-on. It is beneficial in a number of ways. First, it prepares your mind for any sudden difficulty that may arise. Second, you can adjust to the situation accordingly. Third, it forces you to give allowances for the unplanned realities. This method also helps us appreciate the best-case scenarios. By acknowledging the worst, we can better appreciate the best when it comes, enhancing our sense of gratitude and happiness. After all, most of that happen in our lives are mostly unplanned, and preparation for the worst is half of the battle won. It turns fears into actual action plans. So the next time you're faced with a decision, allow yourself to contemplate the worst. Create your safety net, develop your plan, and let the fear of uncertainty dissolve. A gentle reminder from your friendly YouTube channel, The Soul Speaks.